Today I'll be shaping this piece of mahogany obsidian into a heart. I'll start out by flattening it on a flat lap disc. The first disc I'll use will be an 80 grit diamond disc. What I'm doing here is just making the two faces parallel. I need to grind it down far enough to get below the surface depressions. I don't need to worry about the depressions at the very edge because I'll be grinding those out once I get the shape of the heart marked. I keep checking on how far in from the edge I'm grinding and paying attention to the patterns in the rock. I want to make sure that the patterns make sense once I mark out the outline of the heart. I use calipers to check the depth all the way around. Once I'm satisfied that the surfaces are parallel, I use a stencil and a pencil to mark the shape. I adjust the orientation of the template to the patterns. Using the 80 grit flat disc, I grind out everything outside the lines that I drew onto it. I'll just round off the top of it. I can't get into the depression at the top of the heart, so I'll wait and use the Dremel for that. Now that the sides are done, I can round off the top from peak to peak of the heart. Using the Dremel tool with a diamond disc, I cut out the depression at the top of the heart. Water lubricates the disc and makes it last longer. It also keeps the dust down. Most of this part is just checking continuously and staying outside the lines. Once I'm satisfied with the rough shape, I switch to a grinding disc to start rounding off the edges. At the same time, I smooth out any imperfections in the outline. Using a progressively lighter touch with a fine grinding wheel produces a relatively good polish surface. Then it's back to the flat lap with 180 grit diamond disc to smooth out the surfaces and round off the edges. I switched to a 600 grit disc to start the polishing process. It takes a while. Every surface has to be polished. Once I'm satisfied that all the surfaces have been polished on the 600 grit disc, I change to a 1200 grit disc. This part of the process is tedious. It takes a lot of time and patience, but it's necessary. I'll be cutting out a significant amount of the time it takes to do this part of the process. It's very boring. While working the edges, it has to be moving constantly. Otherwise, it develops flat spots. For the final polish, I use a 3600 grit disc. I turn the water down a little bit and use cerium oxide with a little bit of olive oil. It helps with the polish. I apply the cerium oxide and oil mix right on the disc. It doesn't last long, but it does help. Finally, I use a Dremel with a buffing wheel. I use cerium oxide with just a few drops of olive oil mixed in with it to help with the buffing process. I'll probably take a little more time to buff this, but for now this looks pretty good. It's not the best, but gives you an idea of the process I use. If you like this, you might like some of the other projects on my channel. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye now.